Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
On Twitter in response to Stan. Representative John Standard's desk is empty on the House floor. The St. George Republican suddenly resigned earlier this week. The House Speaker says it was for personal and family reasons, but the British tabloid The Daily Mail published a report quoting this woman, Bree Taylor, who claims Standard paid her for a pair of sexual encounters last year. Taylor, who worked as an escort, told the tabloid she found it hypocritical Standard had voted for anti-pornography and anti-prostitution bills. She declined Fox 13's request for an interview, but posted this on Twitter in response to Standard's resignation.
It's come as a shock to us.
On Utah's Capitol Hill, lawmakers were stunned by the allegations. Senate leaders wondered if taxpayer dollars were misused. Lawmakers are given a stipend.
I think that's definitely something that we'd have to consider or maybe even demand at that point, but it's just hard for me to determine that until we know what the facts are.
Neither Standard or his attorney returned our requests for comment. He has not been charged with a crime. The House Speaker's office says that because he's resigned, he won't face an ethics investigation, but he may have to return any money found to be improperly used.
I don't know how good an idea it is to throw more taxpayer resources at tracking down exactly where, assuming sexual activities took place, where they took place. You know, was it someplace that Representative Standard paid for at the time out of his own funds?
On the Hill, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Spirited right now. I've got Santa and J.R. Holbrook.
Staunch anti-prostitute congressman busted using taxpayer money to buy Escort. A representative who advocated for harsher and cruder penalties for prostitutes has been caught spending government money to fund sex with an escort. By Matt Agarist, February 10, 2018. When it comes to the government, in general, the notion of do as I say, not as I do rings true through every level, from the parking transit officer to the president. Hypocrisy is a function of the state. The citizens of the U.S. are often reminded of this hypocrisy when members of the government commit such heinously criminal and hypocritical acts that they are cast out from their curtain of government protection. The most recent case of government hypocrisy comes from a Utah lawmaker, who has been devoting much of his career to making sure sex workers suffer if they are caught by police. The staunch advocate of tougher penalties for prostitution, however, was just busted using taxpayer money to pay for hotel rooms to have sex with prostitutes. The DailyMail.com quoted call girl Bree Taylor saying former GOP Representative John Standard paid her $250 for sex at least twice at the Fairfield Inn in Salt Lake City. In one particular exchange, Taylor asked Standard if she should bring any accessories or toys, perhaps a corset, reported the news site. As the Mail notes, the conservative politician was elected to the Utah House of Representatives in 2012 and has 3 children with his wife Leanne. Last year, 43-year-old Standard, of St. George, Utah, voted in favor of stricter laws on prostitution, including increasing the penalty for soliciting sex to $2,500. Hypocrite, indeed. In spite of claiming on his website that he is a strong advocate for conservative family values. I am pro-life, as well as for traditional marriage, it appears that like many politicians, Standard says one thing and does another. As the text messages show, which was confirmed to by the actual phone number listed on his public profile on the Utah House of Representatives website, this hypocrite met with Taylor twice while pushing for laws that would have punished his companion even harder if they would have been caught in the act. House Chief of Staff Greg Hartley told the Associated Press that the married Standard, who resigned Tuesday night, was reimbursed for 2 hotel stays while he was attending legislative meetings at the state capitol. It looks like they were legislative days, GOP House Speaker Greg Hughes said. In typical government fashion, Hughes said that he is not sure if they will require Standard to pay back the money he spent getting a prostitute. If there has been an abuse of public funds or if public funds were used in a way that's inappropriate, we would, he said. I don't have solid answers for those things. I would need to have a way that I would know conclusively that that is the case. Standard's attorney Walter Bugden told the DailyMail.com, given the current climate in this country with misconduct allegations and the way things are happening in the media right now, There isn't any explanation that my client could give that would overcome the shadow of these allegations. He has resigned his office. Naturally, Stannard is claiming he stepped down for family reasons and not because he was busted hypocritically hiring a prostitute while simultaneously trying to bury them in debt and prison. As TFTP has previously reported, in the land of the free, it is against the law to get paid to have sex, unless that sex is filmed, distributed on DVD, and taxed. One of the least talked about systems of oppression in the US is that of persecuting prostitutes. When referencing prostitution, we are talking about the mutually beneficial exchange of sexual favors for money by two or more consenting partners, not forced human trafficking. Just like the war on drugs creates crime by pushing the unending demand for illicit substances into the black market, the war on the sex trade creates crime in the same manner. Because the demand for sex is pushed into dark alleys and late-night street corners, a woman working in the sex trade becomes far more vulnerable than if they were legally allowed to operate out of brick-and-mortar setups. This danger of working on the street drives the need for protection from pimps who are often more abusive than any customer would be. Despite the tens of thousands of arrests each year, the market has found a way to provide the service of sex using safer solutions. In spite of the laws, sellers of sex have found ways to safely conduct business by setting up massage parlors, using phone books, and, of course, the internet. Besides being an immoral gang of thieves, the state is also relentless. They have deep pockets of extorted tax dollars of which to dig in to enforce their distorted will on the people. Despite prostitution arrests dropping from 2001 to 2010, the cost of arresting people for sex remains staggeringly high. Individual cities continue to spend up to $23 million a year stopping people from having voluntary sex. Meanwhile, involuntary sex goes uninvestigated at an alarming rate. Hundreds of thousands of rape kits are sitting in police departments across the country collecting dust, as cops petition the government to allow them to have sex with prostitutes so they can then bust them. Become a patron.
County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month. Oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.